Hi students, today we are discussing a new concept, financial management. Financial management. Today about financial management, today we are discussing about the concept and importance. Concept and importance. Here this can be explained by separating these two words, financial and management. Or first of all, let us see what is finance. You have heard this term many times, finance, what it is, what finance is. Is it money or currency? Is it money? No. Finance is the arrangement of money, or we can say the provision of money at the time when it is needed. That is the simple definition for finance. Provision of money, when it is needed. That is called finance. Provision of money at the time when it is needed. Provision of money at the time when it is needed. So that is called finance. That means arrangement of funds can be called as finance. In finance, we search out the sources of funds and we utilize that. Searching a source of funds and utilizing that in accordance with our needs can be called as finance. So finance is the provision of money at the time when it is needed. Okay. This arrangement or that management of finance is called the financial management. What is management? Managing something, that means planning, organizing, then directing and control, all those things we have studied, that it is called management. So management of finance, we can say that management of finance we can say that it is the optimum procurement as well as the use of finance. Optimum procurement as well as use of finance. Optimum procurement as well as use of finance. So here finance is the provision of money at the time when it is needed. We can add this also, at the time when it is needed. And financial management or management of finance means optimum procurement as well as usage of finance. Optimum procurement as well as usage of finance. See, here optimum procurement. Procurement means arrangement or getting. So optimum procurement, what it means? The word optimum procure means is, or the word optimum here has a lot of importance. What is optimum procurement? Optimum means minimum with maximum benefit. Minimum procurement with the maximum benefit. So the word says that we should not raise finance unnecessarily. We should raise the finance according to the need only. And we should raise the finance for our use only. It should not be more than that. And it also says that we should raise the finance when there arise its use. That means we should not arrange the finance. After that, we should not think that what is its use. Okay. After arranging the finance, we should not try to find out the use. First of all, we have to find out the use of finance or fund. After that, we have to arrange it. Is it clear? That's what optimum utilization of fund or optimum procurement of fund says. That is what management of finance or financial management. That means optimum procurement as well as the usage of finance. Optimum utilization or optimum procurement and utilization of finance. That means arrangement of finance with minimum cost. See, if you want money, there will be various sources of getting that. Various sources are there to arrange the money. You can find money from your own source. So, from your own any other business or from your family, you can bring the money. Or you can borrow that money from bank. You can borrow money from bank. Or if you are a business of company form, you can issue shares and raise the finance. So there many opportunities are there. Many areas are there to choose the finance. What you have to do? You have to find out the best one. Best one in the sense that it should be cost effective. That means the involvement of cost or expense of raising the fund should be minimum. And its interest rate, that's what cost of finance says. Interest rate and repayment facility also you have to see that it should be less cost. Suppose the finance with less interest rate can be used. Okay, so that is what optimum procurement says. So financial management means optimum procurement as well as usage of finance. That means arrangement of finance according to the needs with the minimum cost. Okay. Now let us see what are the importance of financial management. So we have studied what is finance, provision of money at the time when it is needed. Then management of finance says that optimum procurement as well as usage of finance. Optimum procurement as well as usage of finance. That means at the time when it is needed, in its minimum cost, we have to raise the finance. That is what financial management is. Okay, that is one of the motto of financial management. Then let us see its importance. Importance of financial management. Importance of financial management. Financial management is very, very important for the business. We have studied or we know that this finance is the lifeblood of business. Lifeblood of business. So that lifeblood for the business, it is needed in its right quantity. Right quantity, and it moves everywhere. So everywhere it should be supplied in its right quantity. That is the importance of finance in business. So what are the importance of financial management? We can find out or we can list the importance of financial management by explaining certain situations or examples. The first important significance of financial management can be the size and the combination of fixed assets of the business. Size and combination of fixed assets of the business. Size and combination of fixed assets of the business. That determines how much finance is required and how we have to manage. Let us see. Size and combination of fixed assets means what is size? How much fixed asset is needed? How much quantity of fixed asset is needed? And what is the combination? Size means how much money we have to spend for purchasing fixed assets. Fixed assets, we know many fixed assets are there. Land and building, one of the important one. Then machinery is needed, furniture is needed, automobile or vehicle may be needed. Then computer will be needed, electrical items and fittings will be needed. So all these things are fixed assets of the business. Out of that, so in this total how much money we have to spend for buying such a fixed asset? In order to buy or acquire that fixed asset, how much money we have to spend? That is the size of the fixed asset. So that's what we have told in financial management. For optimal utilization of finance, we have to find out what is the use. Here, how much is to be used, how much fund is to be used for purchasing fixed assets. And which are they? That is what combination says. Suppose we have found out that we have to spend around 50 lakh rupees. 50 lakh rupees we have to spend for fixed assets. Then that will be after assessing that how much varieties, which are the varieties of fixed assets we needed, which are the different types of fixed assets needed, and how much will be spent for each of them. So altogether we have calculated 15 lakh rupees. How it is calculated? We will first find out that how much money we have to spend for land and building, how much area of land is needed, and for that how much is to be spent. Then how much is to be spent for purchasing machinery? Machinery, how much is needed? And furniture, which are the furniture needed, and for that how much is to be spent? Electrical items, how much is to be purchased? Or electronic items like computer and all, how much we need to purchase. So like that, estimate will be made for each type of assets. That is what size as well as combination of fixed assets of the business. And this size of the asset will depend upon the nature of business. For example, if our business is a manufacturing business, manufacturing organization, in that more money we need to spend for machines and equipment for manufacturing the products. Machinery we need to purchase more. More money is to be spent for machine and machinery. And comparatively less money only to be spent for furniture. Furniture we may require less of comparatively. But in a service-oriented business organization, the money we need to spend for machinery will be very less. For example, bank, if our business is a banking business, their money we spend to machinery will be less, and more money we need to spend for furniture and other equipments, fixtures and all. Okay, and overall, we can say that the money we need to spend for fixed asset for a manufacturing concern will be more than what is required for a service oriented business. Okay, that is about size and combination of fixed assets of the business. Then next, quantum of current assets and its breakup into cash, inventory and receivables. Quantum of current assets. And its breakup into cash, inventory and receivables. Quantum of current assets required. So here we have told about fixed assets. Like that, how much quantity of current asset we need, how much money we have to arrange for current assets. Current assets are the assets which are used for the day-to-day activities of the business, isn't it? So for making or for meeting the day-to-day activities of the business, how much money is required, and how much cash we need to maintain. How much cash we need to maintain. How much value of inventory we have to maintain. Inventory means stock or unsold goods, or sometimes it may be stock of raw materials. How much stock of raw material we have to purchase and keep, and how much receivables will be there, how much value of debtors will be there, how many customers will purchase goods on credit. So all these things we have to calculate. Okay. For example, cash, how much we need. So suppose we need a daily minimum of 30,000 rupees as cash, or 50,000 rupees we need to maintain as cash. So that much money we have to find out, isn't it? And if inventory, stock, suppose production, if the availability of raw material is difficult, or we need to get the raw material from a long distance, going there and purchasing raw material will be difficult, so we will purchase and store the raw material. That means quantity of raw material requirement will be more. And if we provide more credit facilities, that means we are selling goods on credit, debtors will be more, or receivables will be more. The money which we have to get will be more. So since we are not getting the money in time, that means debtors are more, customers, credited sales are more. Up to the date of getting that money, we have to maintain cash. So if receivables are more, working capital should be maintained more, or cash should be maintained. Okay. And there which type of business needs more amount of this current assets? Which type of business requires more amount of current assets? Manufacturing business or service oriented business. There are also manufacturing business require more amount of current assets. Why? Because sometimes if the business has a long day of production, or long time it will take to convert the raw material to production. If a business takes many days to convert the raw material to final product. So after getting the final product only we can sell the product and get the money. So during those periods we have to reserve some cash. Is it clear? Suppose a business takes 1 month for completing the production process. So during that 1 month we have to run the business, for that money is required. So the business which is having long production cycle, production duration, that is called a production cycle. If business has long production cycle, that much money we have to reserve. Okay. So all these things we have to find out for borrowing the money or acquiring the finance. That is quantity or quantum of current assets and its breakup into cash, inventory and receivables. Then the third one we can say that the amount of long term and short term funds to be used. The amount of long term and short term funds to be used. The amount of long term fund to be used and the amount of short term fund to be used. How much money we have to borrow for a long period of time, and how much money we have to borrow for short period of time. Borrowing for long period of time means such a fund can be given back after a long period of time only. If we are able to pay back a loan for a long period of time only, we will go for long term source, because immediately we are unable to pay it back. That is called the long term source. In short term source means for a few days or few months or within 1 year we are able to pay it back. So if you borrow money for a short period of time, that is short-term assets. Now the question is, we have to invest money in fixed assets. Invest money in fixed assets means we have to purchase fixed assets and we have to maintain money for current assets needs. We have to purchase fixed assets as well as we have to maintain cash for current assets. Fixed assets and current assets are there. We need to maintain. We need to maintain fixed assets and current assets. For maintaining fixed assets, which source of fund is required? Which source of fund for which you will be looking for purchasing fixed assets? Long-term fund or short-term fund? It will be long-term fund. Because why? Why? Because the long-term fund which will be used for fixed asset. Fixed asset, if you purchase, it will not be possible to get the money immediately back. This asset will be purchased for a long period of time and the amount spent for that also will be a huge amount. So that will be able to pay back after a long period of time only. So it is better to use long-term fund for buying fixed assets. And for using current assets, we can go for short-term finance. Why? Because current assets are the assets which will be converted into cash within short period of time. So immediately we will get the revenue and with that money we can settle the amount taken for current assets. So for current assets we can go for short-term finance, and for buying fixed assets it is better to go for long-term finance. Okay. Then the fourth one. Fourth one, breakup of long-term financing into debt and equity. Next one we have to see is breakup of long-term finance into debt and equity. Breakup of long-term finance into debt and equity. So we have decided to take some long-term loan. For what purpose? For purchasing fixed assets. We have to purchase fixed assets. For that we have to take long-term finance. Means the finance which will be payable after a long period of time. Then, which source can be selected? Either debt source or equity source. Debt and equity. What is debt and equity? Debt means borrowed money. Borrowed money can be called as debt finance. Equity means own finance. Own finance means we will invest our own money or we will issue shares. As a company we may issue share. Company will issue shares. So company issues shares and collect the money. And such people who purchase the shares are considered as the owners. So that is why it is the money collected by the owner or owners. So we can issue either share or can borrow money from loan. Okay, that means by taking loan from the bank or by issue of debenture. Debenture is an instrument issued for raising money. Okay, debenture is a debt instrument, not like share. Share, who purchased the share is the owner, so it will be called as equity or money invested by the owner. But at the time of borrowing money from the public, in order to borrow the money from the public, not as an investment, borrow money from the public, that time we will issue debt or debenture. Okay, so debenture is an acknowledgement of debt, and share or share certificate is an acknowledgement of ownership. Understood the difference? Okay, or leave that case of debenture, we can think about borrowing money from the bank. That is debt. Okay, bank loan is one of the debt source. So here, in order to raise the long-term loan for equity or fixed assets, we have to think that how much we have to borrow and how much we can use our own as owners. Suppose if we borrow more money, we may find difficulty in repayment of such a loan. Okay, so there is a limit for borrowing. And now if you borrow more, in future if there arises any need of money, our borrowing capacity will decrease. They will not again give us the loan because already given. But in the case of equity, it is our own money can be invested. In shares can be invested, or we can issue the shares and public money can be given. There also problem is there. If you issue the shares and public started buying that, your control over the business as an owner will decrease. More number of owners may come, so your control over the business will decrease. Okay, so you have to decide that whether the money is to be borrowed and whether it is to be raised by issue of shares. So finally, what you will decide? Some part of the money can be borrowed and some part of the money can be raised by issue of shares. Okay, so like that we will decide and how much we have to raise through debt and equity. So that is why, in order to decide that breakup, in order to decide the bifurcation, we need to analyze various things in financial management. So this is also an important thing. And the last point, all items in the profit and loss account. All items in the profit and loss account. All items in the profit and loss account. We will think about the various items given in the profit and loss account. Various items given in the profit and loss account means particularly the expenses. That also fixed expenses. Fixed expenses means that we have to pay on the fixed amount always. Every year that much money is to be spent. For example, rent is a fixed asset, so a fixed expense should be spent that much, cannot reduce. Then interest you have to pay for loan. You have taken a loan and interest is to be paid. That also a fixed expense, cannot be reduced. Suppose such a type of fixed expenses are already more in the profit and loss account. Is it wise to go for again debt? Is it wise to go for again borrowing the money? Not at all, because in future he will find difficulty to pay the money back. Okay, so what we have to see, if fixed expenses are already more, it is not good for taking loan, because if you take a loan, your fixed expense will increase. Again you have to pay interest for that. For that, profit cannot be available. So at that time you will be at a risk. That is called a financial risk. Financial risk. We will study that later on. Financial risk. Financial risk means the difficulty in the payment of financial obligation. That is called a financial risk. So if already we have fixed expenses in our profit and loss account, it is not good to go for borrowing money, because that also creates further responsibilities. Okay, so this is also an important point of importance of financial management. So today we have